everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making lemon meringue tarts. So I'm just starting by dusting my countertop with flour. I also like to brush some onto my rolling pin as well, just so it doesn't stick to the top. And I'm just going to press my dough down a little bit into the counter. Make sure my rolling pin is well dusted, and even get a little flour on the top of the dough as well. And then I'm just going to start rolling it out until I have a big circle. Looking for the dough to be about 1/4 inch thick, so I'm just going to continue rolling until I get it to the thinness that I require. I will flip the dough over a few times during this process just to make sure nothing sticks, and it also helps to give me an even roll when I'm trying to roll out into a circle. So now I have the dough rolled out to the thickness that I require. I'm just going to be cutting a circle shape out of the dough. With that I use a glass, and here I'm just going to try a different size because I'm not sure which one is going to fit better, so I'm just going to give them both a try. And I'm just going to fit them into the pan just to see which one I prefer. And in this case I do prefer to use the glass, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut out all the shapes that I need for the muffin tin. This particular tin holds 12 muffins or tarts, whichever we're doing. The leftover dough I'm just going to roll up, and I'll save that for later. I'll roll out the rest of it after I finish baking these ones, because I do only have one tray, so I'll have to get another one. But in this case I'm just rolling it out a little bit thinner because they were just a little too thick for me. So I'm just gonna continue doing that. I'm gonna fill them into the pan, and so what I do is I gently press down into the middle of the crust, and then I'll kind of fold over the edges a little bit, just to make sure that it's like a cup shape in there, and that the whole cup is full with the dough, so that I don't have any of my filling that will leak over to the sides, because it makes a really sticky, hard mess to clean up. Now I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to poke holes all around the sides and the bottom. And the reason I do this is because this recipe requires for the pie crust to be blindly baked, and that means that we're going to just put it in the oven without any filling for about 7 minutes, or until lightly golden brown. And by poking holes in there, you're just allowing the steam to come out so that the pastry doesn't puff up too high, so that you can't fit your filling into the dough after. Now we move on to the meringue. This is going to be what we put on the top of our lemon filling. It requires us to use the whites of 2 eggs. So I'm just going to separate the whites into this bowl, and then I'm going to save the yolks in my pot because I'm going to need those for the lemon part of the filling. So in this case we get to use the whole egg, no leftovers. We're going to mix the egg whites on about medium speed for a couple of minutes. You'll notice that the color will change from clear to translucent, and you'll get soft looking peaks. At this point we're going to add in some sugar for sweetness, so we just slowly add in as we're mixing, and then we're going to continue mixing until we get firm peaks and the egg whites have completely turned white. So we'll keep doing that for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. When you pull the beaters out of the mixture, you'll notice that the peaks will stay, and that's when you know it's finished. The lemon filling is made with the 2 yolks that we separated from the whites earlier when we made the meringue. So I've got those in my pot with a little bit of water here. I'm just going to whisk them together. I've got the temperature on about medium heat, and I'm just going to mix them together until they're combined. Just takes a few minutes here, doesn't take long at all. And then I add in the lemon filling. It's a pie filling that I buy, pre-packaged one, super easy. And I just make sure all the goodness is in that bowl because I want it all. And then I'm just going to whisk everything together until those are well combined. And then I add in some hot water. I'll link the full recipe below so you know exact measurements to use, but basically we're just following package directions here. It's not rocket science at all. So we just get the hot water into the pot, and then I'm going to continue whisking until the mixture becomes thick and bubbly. This is a pie filling that I picked up at the grocery store. You can use a no-name brand. It really doesn't matter. I always prefer to use whatever's in my budget. I don't like to pay too much for anything, so whatever's on sale is what I buy. And so I will just keep mixing this in the pot. You can see it's starting to get hot. You can see the steam coming up. This point is where it's going to start to very quickly thicken and it will start bubbling. So just really keep your eye on it now. I just give it a few more whisks just to make sure it is the thick consistency that I want. If it does get a little too thick, feel free just to add some water. It will thin it out a little bit. And then I'm going to take it off the heat. And at this point, I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of butter. I use margarine. You can use butter. You do you. It doesn't matter. The only suggestion I have is that if you're using butter, to use unsalted butter, because we just don't want to add salt where it's not needed, okay? And I've turned off the heat, and now I'm just going to make sure that the butter is fully incorporated into the lemon mixture. It's so hot, seriously, it'll just take a few seconds to melt in there. And you can see my tart crusts have come out of the oven. They're a little bit golden brown around the edges. In this particular case, I did cook it a little too long, I think, but in the end, everything came out and turned out perfectly fine, so I was okay with it. I'm just going to spoon the mixture into the pie crust, so please make sure that you remember this pie filling is very hot, so if you're working with kids, just be very careful that they're not touching that filling at this time. So I'll just go ahead and fill up all the cups until everything is probably about 3/4 full. And then I'm going to take the meringue that we made earlier and I'm just going to dollop that on top. I do have to say it is a little bit more difficult when you're doing pie tarts because they're small. Typically this is just done in a pie form, so you can just dump all the meringue on top of the pie and cook it that way. It is a lot easier, but I just wanted to make tarts because I was going to take them to work and share them, and it's just easier to do that in tart form instead of cutting pieces of pie all day. So I'm just going back over now and I'm just poking at the meringue to make some peaks on the top so that when they come out of the oven like this, you've got some brown spots on the top and it looks really cute and pretty. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you like this recipe. I look forward to reading your comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more recipes. Bye for now.